Hey guys, welcome back to the page. In my last video, I talked with you all about making yourself a priority and putting yourself on your own calendar. So if you haven't checked that video out, definitely go back and watch that video. But today I wanted to speak with you all about self-sabotaging behavior. And sometimes we can sabotage our way right out of things that we desire, things that we want to do, or things that we should be doing. But we just, for whatever reason, we just step in our own way. And before you just say, hey, I don't participate in self-sabotaging behavior, just hear me out. Let's go over what self-sabotaging really looks like. Now, what I've noticed in the past when I have participated in self-sabotaging behavior, it looked like for me not setting goals or not reaching goals or constantly creating goals and setting them, but I'm starting and I'm stopping. Like you'll start a task and you'll stop it. You'll start a task and you'll stop it. You never actually complete anything that you do. It also looked like procrastinating all the time, waiting for the perfect time to start a particular project. You are envisioning in your mind of how you want it to turn out, and so you're waiting on the perfect circumstances. You're waiting on the perfect moment. You're waiting until you have all the elements or the pieces of the puzzle that you think you need in order to make it look like whatever it is that you imagine it to be. So that is also what self-sabotaging look like. That is also being a perfectionist, right? And this perfectionism has a lot of us in a stronghold, right? Again, is when we, spend a lot of time on the details to the point where we become paralyzed and we don't actually finish that particular thing. It also looks like overcommitment. Overcommitment. How often have you stretched yourself way too thin because you said yes to this person, you said yes to that person, doing this and doing that. And when you do this, you leave no room for making your own to-do list a priority. This also, y'all, can lead to burnout. Another self-sabotaging behavior that I noticed with myself, and you may have experienced this as well, is unhealthy relationships. Yes, unhealthy relationships, whether they're unhealthy platonic relationships or romantic relationships. How many times have you stayed in a situation way too long, waiting on it to become something that it will never be, or hoping that it will be, right? This will keep you from feeling your purpose, let alone for showing up for yourself. This is also a distraction and an avoidance tactic, but ultimately it's actually self-sabotaging behavior, right? Because at the end of the day, you can never, ever, ever get your time back. Your time is non-refundable. So this leads into the question, why is it that we participate in self-sabotaging behavior? Like, why do we do that, right? Well, there are many different reasons why we do it, but we do it unconsciously. One of the main reasons why we do this is because we are comfortable in that familiar space, right? So we fear the unknown, we fear change, because we don't know if we will have greater discomfort ahead. So we just don't move, right? We stay right where we are. Okay, so I've noticed that for myself, and you may notice that you have done that a time or two in your own life. So we sabotage ourselves because of that fear of success, right? We also sabotage ourselves for fear of failure. Some of us are afraid to fail. Some of us are afraid to succeed. And that within itself is a poverty mentality, but we may talk about that more later in the future. But the last reason that I have for self sabotaging behavior, and it probably is the most important, and that is low self esteem. Yes, many of us participate in self sabotaging behavior because we have low self esteem. And this happens when you have a negative self image of yourself. And having a negative self image of yourself makes you believe that you don't deserve success. It convinces you that you don't deserve to be happy, right? And you are in turn overtly critical of yourself. And in today's talk, I want to encourage you to be kind to yourself, practice self compassion, and challenge those negative thoughts by rewriting that narrative and increase your self awareness. And you can increase self awareness by way of journaling. Journaling has changed my life. Journaling has changed my life. It has enabled me to become more self aware, and it has enabled me to identify those self sabotaging behaviors, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. And journaling has allowed me to intentionally change those negative patterns that I have become aware of. I also want to encourage you to seek professional help, y'all. It is no shame in seeking professional help. The shame should be in not getting the help that you know that you need and continuing to suffer in silence. That to me, now that I am older, now that I'm more mature, I see that for me as that is also sabotaging yourself, not getting the help that you need. That should be more of a badge of shame and dishonor than it would be to actually get professional help. I hope that this has helped you in some way. If you're new to my page, definitely consider subscribing to the page, like, comment, and share it with somebody who you know needs it. Before I leave, I want to introduce myself. My name is Keisha. I write books, ebooks, and audiobooks that help pull women from the emotional wreckage caused by the wears and the tears of life. And I write in the areas of parental rejection, low self-esteem, and depression. See y'all later.